Welcome in today. So we're going to be talking today of ongoing as we're talking about pricing. So 2 weeks ago we talked about setting minimum pricing and why that's you should look at doing that if you're not already currently doing that. Now, last week we talked about how your production rate changes as the square footage increases. So this week we're going to talk about billing, prorations, credits. We're going to talk about all those things, right? So there's no hard, fast, this is how you have to do it. But there's things that I've learned along the way that will probably be helpful for other people. And you don't have to do it this way. This is what I do. This is what works best for my business. This is what works best for my business structure. So let's tackle it one at a time. Billing. So billing, there's all kinds of different ways to bill. You can bill at the end of the month. You can bill net 30. You can bill net 45. You can bill people bill per clean. People bill one monthly fee. People bill one weekly fee. There's all kinds of different ways to do it. What I found is best is when I'm getting a signed agreement, I find out from the customer how long it takes them to pay. Because I shoot for a net 20. But that doesn't always work with every customer. Years ago, I had a customer that was like 3 months behind on billing. Literally, it would take at least 90 days to get paid when I got billed. But we together devised a plan where I was billing ahead of time. So it would take between 90 and 120 days to get paid, but I was billing 90 plus days ahead of time. And that worked out fine in that case. It was a little bit uncomfortable for me at first to be billing here now. As we're starting November, I would be billing for January, but it was one of those things that made it easier to keep in rotation and get paid on time. So in some cases, you're going to run into customers like that you have to change a little bit of what you're doing in order to be able to work with them. Now, that being said, you don't have to change it, but a lot of larger companies also don't they don't they won't change what they're doing either. Hey, Abby R, welcome in today.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. So I was actually just starting to shoot a recording, so you got in perfect time.
Oh, okay.
Every once in a while, if nobody else jumps on, I'll sit for a few minutes. I'll do some other work, and then I'll shoot just a quick video of what I plan to talk about. So you got in perfect time because I had just hit the record button.
Nice. It's just us today so far?
Yeah, just the two of us today. I mean, usually if nobody's on by this time, the only person that sometimes jumps on later is Dominic, because he's usually tied up, so he jumps on the call later on. But
Yeah.
really, if nobody's on by this time, it's nobody's getting on.
Yeah, yeah. Makes sense. I mean, honestly, I forget about these. And usually at this time I get busy, but today I am working from home.
Oh, that's always nice.
No cleaning for me today.
That's nicer.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Oh yeah. So you got anything cooking that you have questions on?
At the moment, no. Just no, nothing nice, nothing crazy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Man.
What about you?
Oh man, I just finished up yesterday writing 5 proposals.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, it's for an oral surgery place. One was here locally in town. And as soon as I walked in and we started talking, it was bad. I could tell it was bad. They were way bad. So, of course, it's before I was even done with that, before I could even get the proposal to the first one, they were like, the other four, go bid them. We need one contractor to do all 5 locations.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
So
man.
there's 2 in the next city that I work in, and then there's 1 in a city that I go to occasionally, and 1 just a few minutes from that. So I'm like, well, what the heck, from talking to them and the rough idea of what I thought I was going to be charging, I figured it was going to be about $15,000 a month worth of billing.
15 a month.
15,000 for the 5. Now I think I'm probably 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, I'm probably pretty close to that because every one of them was over 2,000. 2, 4, 6, 8, and then the other one was over 5,000. So I'm pretty close to what I was figuring it was going to be.
That's awesome. That is awesome. How did you get that?
So I work with a appointment setter. He's been a little bit on the dry side the last few weeks, but man, through the summer, I was getting 4 or 5 appointments a week that he was setting.
Wow.
So I mean, it was great when I'm doing other things. I'm trying to make stuff happen, but then I still have basically somebody else that's at least getting appointments set. So put on my calendar.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So he's slowed down a little bit. And I'm, I never bank on one thing when it comes to that thing. I'm one to say you need probably at least 7 different lead sources.
Yeah.
Because you don't ever want to just rely on one, and then when that dries up, what do you got? You got nothing, and then either starting back at 0, or sometimes even worse if you haven't been running your business correctly.
Yeah. Wow.
So he's one of the sources. Obviously, I use Scale. If they get anything in my area, I'll buy the lead. I'll buy the appointment. I've got another appointment setter I'm trying out. I've tried out a few cold callers. I didn't particularly care for them. And then I'm working. I do my own cold outreach as well. So I've got a decent amount of stuff going on.
Yeah. Have you ever tried what's it called? Let me see if I can find that real quick. It's I forgot what it's called, but it's specifically for post or construction stuff. I think it's Connect Build.
There's 2 big ones. Hold on, I'll tell you what they are. Let me pull up my email. I think it's Build Connect is one of them.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I mixed it up.
I think that's one of them. Building Connect. Yeah, Building Connected is one. Now, the nice thing about Building Connected for janitorial is you don't have to pay the subscription.
Wait a minute. Are you kidding me? I've been paying $200 a month for this crap, and I'm like, it doesn't even make sense because for us, we make such little money compared to the rest of the actual, GCs and everybody else that uses it, right? It's like, why are you charging me $200 a month and you charge them $200 a month as well? But
now there's another one that's $200 a month, and it's something similar to that. And what is the name of it? It's let's see. What is the name of it? It's something building. That's not it. I can't remember what that guy's name was that I talked to there. It was welcome in. There we go. Well, welcome in today. So the other one was called Construct Connect.
Oh wait, I think that's the one that I use. That I pay
That
$200 a
one
month.
is $200 a month. It's basically $2,500 a year, give or take, right? And it's a little more than that if you're not pay the full year.
Yeah.
I actually looked at that one a few months ago, and I was going to pull the trigger on it. And I talked to Alex about it, and Alex is like, "No, don't do it. You're not going to get as many leads as they're telling you you're going to get." So I bailed on it. I was committed. I was about to whip out my credit card and just put the full year on it, and I was like, "All right, I'll pump the brakes." So I pumped the brakes on that one, but at the same time, I came across the other one called Building Connected. So Building Connected, when I called them to set up, show me through the system, she asked me what I did, and when I told her, she's like, "Nope, you just sign up," and that was it. So I signed up. I don't get a whole lot. I think I've put in like 4 bids from them, but I mean, it's a little something. A little something to kind of sweeten the pie, and it doesn't cost anything. So it's just a matter of logging into it and checking.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna try that one. With the other one that I'm paying $200 a month, actually I get a buttload of leads. The problem is that there's so many I can't, like, it's just hard to keep up with all the bidding. And all the ones that I have bid, I have not won a single contract. So
the thing with those guys is they're probably looking for a flat fee, like whatever that is, whatever it is in your area, and it's going to range in the country somewhere probably between 20 cents and 28, 29 cents a square foot, and they just want flat fees. They don't want to take the time for you to come out and look at it. They don't want any of that. It's just like, bid on this.
A lot of the times they do send their plans as well.
Right.
So I typically bid out 22.5 cents.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't won anything this entire time I've had it. I think I've had it since this summer. But yeah, it is a lot of leads. But yeah.
I got you.
Joshua, I'm sorry. This is Giovanni, JBM. How you doing?
Hey, Giovanni. How you doing today, buddy?
What's up, Giovanni?
I'm too blessed to be stressed. Thank you for asking.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, listen, a quick question. Which one is that free one that you said that you tried out, Bidding Connect?
So right now, if I'm sharing my screen, this is what it is. It's Building Connected.
Oh, Building Connected. Okay.
And then here's the web. App.buildingconnected.com. So as you see here, I've submitted 3 here. I've got to decide today whether I'm bidding on this one. This is a 296,000 square foot apartment complex.
Hey, if you need help, I'll go with you.
The biggest issue I have with this is the construction doesn't start until next year, and it doesn't finish for another almost 3 years. So
wow.
The biggest problem is I don't want to shoot myself in the foot by bidding on today's pricing and skyrocket between now and then.
That's true.
And this is kind of what I'm looking at, is why I've been hesitant to finish this one, is because I'm like, that's a long way off. What if I get there and the contractor that I had lined up, or the couple, because my thought is 296,000 square feet, this is a $50,000 job.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a smidge more than that. So it's like, well, I'm going to have a couple of people lined up to work on it, probably split it into maybe 4 parts. What if something happens to one of them? And then I'm going to have to scramble for, 50,000 square feet to clean. So myself, I'm a little bit hesitant on that. Like I said, it's due by tomorrow. So I've got to bite the bullet and say, am I going to do this or not? The nice thing about this thing here is you get the files. You've got just like what you see in the other one. This has the blueprints and everything laid out in here. And then I can message the guy directly right from here.
Nice.
So, I mean, as far as free platform, this is great. Have I won anything? Not yet. Now that being said, the 3 I've submitted, 2 are still under construction. One just finished last month, and I almost had that, and then they decided to go with a contractor that they've used before. So, you win some, you lose some. But that being said, the other 2 that are pending of these 3 are still under construction, so they may not have decided who they're doing yet.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was definitely worth checking out. I mean, if nothing else, get on it. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Make a thing. And like this opportunity here, they came to me, right? Asking if I'm going to be bidding on it. Actually, I want to say all the other 3 did as well. They just pop up, which I'm sure it's all automated,
Yeah.
via Zapier or whatever, and they just message out to people in the area saying, "Are you bidding on it?" Which is fine. I don't care, because that at least lets me know. I don't even have to log in here because I have the email notification. So it'll come to my email box when somebody messages me like this saying, "Hey, are you going to bid on this?" And then I'll go look at it and say, "Well, what the heck, man?"
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, here, I'm sure I can probably sign out of here and drop you guys this link here. Yeah. All right, I'll drop it here in the chat for you guys.
Great,
Thanks,
thank you.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the Construct Connect. It's $200 a month and it goes straight to email. And there's so many leads. I need to. I've been working in the field for a while, over the past 5 days or so, and so my email is full of leads that I gotta hop on.
Yep.
But I mean, the day that I can win 1 or 2, I'll say that Building Connected or Construct Connect was success. But to this day, haven't won a single thing.
Man, that's a tough thing. Do they have like the telephone numbers of these people too, where you could reach out to them directly?
Yep, email, direct emails, phone numbers, the address, all that stuff.
But they like most, they probably don't answer the phone. If they just, if you call, it probably just rings, doesn't it?
No, everybody that I've called, they've all answered the phone.
So do you press on them then? So like, trying to figure out, when their deadline is, if they already have somebody, what they're looking for in a cleaning contractor, because a lot of people are just looking for the cheapest bidder.
Yeah, I was about to tell you, they pretty much say the cheapest. And it's funny because I talked to one of the people one time and I said, okay, well, when you're looking for for cleaning, what do you typically look for when it comes to bidding? And he says, well, I'm asking multiple people. It's typically the cheapest price, isn't it? Isn't that why we ask for bids? I'm like, no, that's not why you ask for bids, but okay, guy.
But that's the thing, though, is right. So the GC gets the job, and they go to the cheapest bidder. That's why there's paint on the windows and
Oh my God,
and counters and everything else. So that's that's that tough thing when it comes to construction cleanup, is you're doing a lot of babysitting, I guess, is the only way. I mean, you're basically wiping noses and asses, because these guys, they go with the cheapest, so nobody cares to say, hey, don't get paint on the damn toilet. Don't get paint on the floor. Put down something before you paint.
Yep. And so what I started doing with that, if it's a lot, I do charge a change order. I do send change orders, and they pay them. So I mean, you tried going with the cheapest, but I ended up being a lot more expensive than what you anticipated.
You know which one? You know which one is good too, guys? I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called Bonfire.
No, I never heard of it.
Nah, I've not heard of that one.
The way I came across it was CTA trains in Chicago. I don't even know how they contacted me. This was like 2 years ago. And we quoted them, and it was funny because it's one of those things that I quoted, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna get it. And then the guy kept calling me, and I finally picked up, and he's like, "Do you not want the business?" I'm like, "What? I got it." He's like, "Yeah." And it was 3 train stations in Chicago. Each one was about $25,000 a month, which I was like, "Wow." Um, so he wanted the insurance and stuff, and we got it. We started it. We did it. It was unfortunately the bid that we got was for um, it was seasonal. It was like 6 months, I believe. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, we got 75 grand for those 6 months. And then once that ended, I realized that somehow it had been sent to me through this bonfire, and it said, if you want to continue to receive these quote requests, you could sign up directly to Bonfire. And then so I did, and they send you like a lot of government stuff and a lot of quotes, big quotes from different states. It's a pretty good thing. It's like $200 a year. And they send you daily quotes, like I said, from different states, and they tell you what each one is. Not all for cleaning. Some of them are like for maintenance, repairs, and stuff like that. But if you get one, once in a while, that's good, and it's in your state, they can be nice. They can be big. It's just a lot of paperwork too, because they do require, there's a lot of reading and how they want it structured and all that good stuff. But it can be worth it.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Is this it right here, Giovanni? What I have up on the screen?
Let's see. Yep, that's the one.
Nice. Okay. Well, yeah. Thanks for sharing that. I mean, it sounds like they're scraping for any type of RFP style things. Then it sounds like.
So what it seems is like, a company like CTA or a lot of these big companies, they just don't want to be dealing with requesting janitorial companies. So they put their request here on Bonfire, and then everybody that's signed up on Bonfire, then they can submit a bid through them.
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, how many jobs do you need to really have to win to say your marketing you've invested $200 in?
So, yeah.
I mean, what you if you get 2 accounts on that, that's more than pays for itself.
Without a doubt, that's why I didn't even hesitate to and don't quote me on the 200 a year, but it's cheap. I think it's like 200 a year, and like I said, I got 75 grand for 6 months. I got a lifetime paid up front.
Nice. Yeah, exactly. That you definitely worth paying for itself in a very short amount of time. And I think any way you slice it too, though, if you look at all your marketing efforts and say, all right, what does it cost me to acquire a customer? You're probably realistically just about anybody's going to be between $250 and $1,000 probably in this industry is probably that window you'd be in. And I would say, I think personally, I'm somewhere between 300 and 400, I think, with what I'm doing. And that obviously doesn't count my own personal labor because, I get paid on the other end of it. But you say, your marketing efforts for your email campaigns and your list and if you've got subscriptions for that and subscriptions for your email stuff, if you're paying a cold caller or you're paying somebody to cold call or your time invested in it, you're probably realistically, $300 to $500. So you say this is $500 for the year. So even if you got one, that justifies the cost by a long shot.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Nice. Giovanni, you located there around Chicago then?
You know what? Right now, we've been blessed, man. We're growing in multiple states. We're in 9 states right now, but our main office is in Chicago, or our corporate office, I should say.
Nice. Hey, are you doing any work in Houston, Texas?
You know what? We are about to. We got a Compass. No, not Texas. I'm sorry. That's in St. Louis. In Texas, we're only in Austin and in Austin. What's the other state? Austin and oh man, let me pull it up.
Well, if you do get any work in Houston, definitely feel free to contact me for subbing.
Okay, yeah, we have charter buildings that we're doing in, let's see, Austin and San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well,
no, if you get something in Houston, I'll let you know, Javier. What's your direct number, or is it on the chat thingy, your email?
I could just give it to you. I'm not sure if it's but yeah, I could just give it to you right now.
Okay, cool. What is it?
It's 346-287-4608.
Awesome. Sounds great. Yeah, definitely will let you know.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Well, it sounds like you guys are doing pretty good there, Giovanni. You're in nine states. That's pretty exceptional right there.
Yeah, we've definitely been blessed. You know, I built this company 30 years ago, and we were at about 5 million when the economy hit.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it hit me hard. You know, I had, you know, a lot of the furniture companies and car dealers and all that good stuff. And, you know, I didn't know what was going on, but all of a sudden they just started, you know, not paying, you know, and you got a $65,000, $80,000 a month account, which that's about the size that a lot of these furniture stores work. Because I was doing anywhere from 15 to 22 furniture stores in the Midwest. You don't want to call them and be like, "Hey, I'm going to stop the service," especially you've been doing business with them for years. Okay,
Right.
so you know what? They got delayed for a month. Then the second month came and still no payment. It's like, you know, man, what's going on? We're calling them. Oh yeah, you know, we'll send you the check. You know, we apologize. Here comes the third month. BK. It's like, oh, they closed down. You know, I'm talking like Wicks Furniture,
Wow.
Bay Furniture. And man, it was just like, and then after that, I realized that the economy was crashing. And then after that, it was like one car dealer after the next, just closing down, closing down, closing down. It was horrible. I ended up with depression and a bunch of stuff. And I mean, we really crashed with the economy. So I started building it back up about 5 years ago, like 7 years ago. And yeah, so we're taking off strong again. Started just in the Midwest, and because of COVID and electrostatic spraying, we would do electrostatic spraying in other locations like Philadelphia, Texas, etc. Because nobody else had the equipment back in that time.
Right.
So these companies, they felt comfortable with us, and they wanted to keep us now on an ongoing for their day-to-day janitorial, which is, you know, 5 days a week, 7 days a week. And that's how we started expanding in other states. And then we just kept going.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So from something bad, it ended up being a blessing.
That's
Usually how it works, huh?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
nice. So you've been around for quite a long time. Then you said 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I started the janitorial service in 1992.
Wow, that's funny.
Originally, it was called Judith's Building Maintenance. Judith being my mom, building maintenance, and then we just made it a little bit more professional, call it JBM.
Nice.
But yeah, it was just funny the way it started out back in that. You know, it's like, man, when God has something for you, there's no turning it around. At that time, I was the manager, assistant manager, I'm sorry, at a furniture store. That's why we got so big with the furniture stores. And the manager tells me, "Hey, we lost our janitorial service. Can you find me another janitorial company?" I'm like, "Sure." So I'm looking it up, and you know, they wanted like $1,000 a month, $1,200 a month. He's like, "No, it's way too much." I'm like, "How much were you paying?" He's like, $800. I'm like, "And how often were they coming?" He's like, "You know, the lady be here, you know, 3 hours, Monday, Wednesday, Friday." 3 times a week. So I started doing the math, and I'm like, I can pay my sister-in-law 400, charge 800, and there's my Mercedes payment. So I called my sister-in-law, and I'm like, hey, do you want it clean? She's like, what? I'm like, my furniture store. She's like, yeah, I'd love to. I'm looking for a job. So I told the manager, I'm like, I got you a janitorial service. He's like, who? I'm like, well, my mom, she owns a janitorial service. What's the name of it? I'm like, Judith's cleaning service or Judith's building maintenance. So that's how the name became. And so I hired he's like, and how much? I'm like, well, because I work here, she's going to give me a good price and charge you the same, just the $800 a month. He's like, oh man, that's awesome. To make the story short, my sister-in-law started doing it. And I get a call from another manager from another store. Hey, I heard your mom has a janitorial service and you guys are doing a really good job there. I'm like, yeah. So he's like, can you do my store? Can you ask your mom? I'm like, sure. Let me ask her. So I called my sister-in-law. I'm like, hey, do you want to do another store? She's like, sure. I'm like, this is awesome. Now I can make $1,600 and pay her $800. Now I'm making $800 a month. And we started taking every single store. So before I knew it, I had all 12 stores of this company, making probably about back then like 20 grand a month, which is sweet. And so I wanted to start going elsewhere. I did not know what a proposal was or nothing. The first time somebody asked me for a proposal, they're like, I'm like, hey, do you need janitorial service? They're like, yeah, send me a proposal. Send you a proposal? Like, what am I going to put? I clean, you pay me. In my mind, that's what it was. So I had to start to learn like what a proposal is, how do you put it together, and yeah, the rest was history.
That was back in the day where you couldn't just Google it and have the answer in 20 seconds either. You had to actually put in some work for that one.
Yeah, you know what I actually did? I actually bought a franchise for JaniKing. And they trained me on how to do proposals, walkthroughs, and all that. There was another Italian dude that I gave him a quote for 20. He just gave it to me because he just saw the honesty and the I don't know, just the I don't even know what he saw, but he's like, I quoted him. He had like 32 buildings that he wanted us to clean, and I quoted him $27,000 a month. And he's like, what, are you crazy? I'm like, what? He's like, they're charging me $7,000 right now. I'm like, okay, I'll do it for $6,000. And he gave me the account, and now I look back, I was in my early 20s, so I was a young kid, but he must have seen, the sincerity and the just, unexperienced and not trying to screw him, because how do you drop 20 grand in one conversation? Like, okay, I'll do it for $6,000 when I was charging him 27.
That's hilarious.
And he gave me the account, which made it even more hilarious. And I cleaned his apartment buildings for like 7 years after that, and I still made money with that one. So, and that's how I met my wife. She was her dad was the one that was cleaning those buildings, and he would take her sometimes. And so yeah, everything happens for a reason.
Wow.
For sure. Wow. So what made you jump in with Scale My Cleaning business?
I'm sorry?
What made you jump in with Scale My Cleaning business?
You know what? It was again, it was one of those meant to be things. I had 5 interviews set up for that one day, and Min was not one of them. I remember the name of the other 5 companies, but I was interviewing, to see which one I was going to go with. And then my wife tells me, and you got to understand, my wife is very tech savvy. I'm not. If it was up to me, I'd have a pager and a fax machine to this day. So, but my wife, thank God, she's super. I mean, like, she did our website. She does websites. She's super tech savvy. But somehow she did not even know how she signed up to Facebook. And she's like, I've been getting all these leads from this company. She's like, I don't even see. If it would have been me, it would have been easy to understand how I signed up to something without knowing. But for her to sign up for something she doesn't even know, then that's more like meant to be type stuff.
Right.
Because she's like, I don't even know how I signed up. And the worst thing is, I can't get rid of it. And I told Mean, I'm like, dude, whatever you did, man, good job, because you can't. It's. He's like, yeah, it's real hard for you to like stop it. I'm like, yeah, my wife wasn't able to stop it. So she'd been getting all these leads and listening to people back and forth and saying, hey, you know what, I got this lead. Hey, do you have something in Chicago? Hey, do you have something in Atlanta?
Mhm.
So she's like, I've been getting this stuff. I'm like, let me look at it. So I looked at it, and at first, I'm like, oh man, somebody is stealing this company's leads and selling them to the side for $100. Somebody that works for this company, because I've never, you either sign up with somebody and you're paying them anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 a month for them to send you leads, but nobody's giving them for like $60, $100. So I'm like, somebody in this guy's company, and I told my wife this, is selling these leads on the side. So I started to research and see who the owner of this company was, and I found me on LinkedIn, and I texted him, and he's like, he hardly ever gets on LinkedIn, he told me, and he just happened to be on LinkedIn that night at that time. It's about 10 p.m. when I sent them the text, and he answered. So we set a meeting for that next morning before I answered any of the other 5 companies that I had already interviewed. And the rest was history. Like we just hit it off. He seemed like good people, and he was telling me how there's people that can't afford, $2,000-3,000 a month. So he puts these, leads out, for those that can't afford it. And I was like, wow, that's beautiful. Like he's actually helping the mom pop companies too, where, they can't afford $3,000 a month, but you know what? They can afford $60, $100 to get a lead once in a while. So that really moved me because that's what I'm all about. I'm about, blessing other people, helping others, and, just gratitude and help. So we hit it off, and I ended up signing up with him. Oh, and the funny thing was, I mean, could you imagine how many janitorial companies there must be in Chicago? I mean, 10,000 for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's like, there's a company in Chicago that I'm about that I already sent them the contract. They're about to sign up with us. And he tells me the name of the company, which he in his mind he would have thought that I would have known. I'm like, Ricky? He's like, you know Ricky? I'm like, yeah, we actually prayed with him like 2 years ago. My wife and I, we met him. So, he's like, yeah, well, he hasn't answered, and he knows it's first come first serve. So I'm like, wow, so he's like, I think it was meant to be for you guys to work with us. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, let's do it. So that's how we ended up signing up. And I guess Ricky called him a couple days later when he told him that it was taken. He's like, oh man, I was about to send it in. He's like, yeah, unfortunately, it's gone.
First come, first serve with those. They go fast too on the website.
Yeah. This was for like the whole state of Chicago, of Illinois, that he was, basically going to have this one company for Chicago. So I decided to take it. So basically, we have all of Chicago right now through me. So any leads that come up in Chicago, they all go to us only. Yeah.
Nice.
How often do you close?
Leads?
Yeah.
It depends. I don't know, probably, I mean, I would say at least a couple a month, 5, 6 a month. There's some months that, like, we just got all the lows in Chicago. So those were like 14 locations in like, a week that we had to get up and running. So, I mean, it really all depends. We're just, whatever God puts in our path, man, we'll go with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and to be honest with you, most of the growth that I'm looking for is to help all these people that need to work. It's like I like taking care of my people. I still have employees that started with me, except for my sister-in-law. But I still have employees that started with me 30 years ago. I take care of them. If they need a loan, I give it to them with no interest charge. Just help, just to help them out. And like I bless them, they bless me. We have less than 4% turnaround with our employees, which is crazy. I hear in this industry.
It's insane.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah, but it's just taking care of them, and they take care of you. They tell me if somebody else is out there trying to quote or whatnot, and so yeah, it's been awesome, and that's one of the reasons why I want to keep growing. So I want to just keep helping people get a job, and and then take care of them.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Awesome.
I'm just getting into commercial services because there's just so much opportunity here, especially in Houston. There's so many buildings everywhere, right? But it's been hard for me to get anything. I don't know what it is. So I think in janitorial services, I'm probably making like $3,000 a month. Because we mostly do residential, commercial. I mean, not commercial, post construction and short-term rental cleaning. Pretty much everything except for commercial, which I'm trying to get into, but it's just I don't know what it is. It's just really hard for me to get into it.
Yeah. Actually, when I started, we started with residential. When I got a divorce with my first wife back in the day, I gave her the residential, all the houses we had. We had about 180 homes. Wow. And I stayed with the janitorial commercial end of things. But my mom one time told me, because I actually ended up hiring my mom and having her supervise. And she once told me, because we had gotten this big building, it was 4 people, like 6 or 7 hours, 7 days a week. And, she looked at the numbers, and I'm talking, 30 years ago. And she's like, "What are you, crazy?" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You're making like 50 cents an hour." I'm like, "Yeah, Ma, that's 50 cents an hour per person per day. I mean, have you added up what it adds up? I'm making over $3,000 a month of net profit." And back then I wasn't looking at anything else but just, how much am I putting in my pocket? And I told her something that I didn't realize was actually smart. I told her, "Look, Ma, I feel there's 2 ways. You either go low and get your name out, or you're already a name. And then now you can charge more because they know who you are. They know your name." I'm like, right now, we're not a name, so I have to go by price. So once I get a bunch of accounts and now I'm a name, now I can charge higher. So that's what I was doing back in the day. I was like, just unfortunately, trying to go as low as possible to get myself in there. And then, because once you're in there, to be honest with you, I mean, 90% of our growth is word of mouth. We started with one apartment building downtown Chicago, and they recommended us to another one. Then they recommended us to another one. Then another one asked who was cleaning their apartment building, and it just keeps going like that. So, and then some of these guys move, like the managers that run the janitorial, they'll move to another apartment building, and then they'll call us up. They're like, "Hey, man, the cleaning service these guys have here just sucks. Can you guys give us a quote?" So a lot of our growth has been through that. But to get in, yeah, I had to be really super cheap, to get my name out there.
The one thing you have going for you, Javier, though, is that you've already got Google reviews, which will help you, because this is what people are going to do. They're going to look at your reviews when you give them a quote. They're going to look that up.
You know what? I don't. And it's something that Ming told me that I need to do. He gave us here in Atlanta, man, and I was so upset that we didn't get it because of a mix-up. It was one of the very first leads we got from him, and it was what's it? It's an embassy. It was an embassy.
Oh, wow.
Here in Atlanta. Super nice lead. And but when we went out there, the guy was like, because it came from another email address, and my VP of operations in Atlanta didn't know where it came from. The guy asked him, "Hey, so who emailed me?" And he's like, "Probably my boss, Giovanni at JBM Janitorial." He's like, "No, it wasn't him." And because it's an embassy, they were being a little bit more careful than normal. So anyway, he thought that we were being subcontracted by another company, and he's like, "I'm not going to deal with subcontracts. The company that I hire, it's the company that I want to be billed from, and et cetera, et cetera." So he didn't like the fact that JBM did not email him first. There was some other company, and then he Googled us. We realized that we didn't have any Google reviews here in Atlanta. So it's something that we're starting to work on, and going to start calling our customers to see if they can give us some reviews, because no, that's something we're actually going to have to start working on right now.
Yeah, it's amazing how much the reviews definitely help.
That's what Bean said. Yeah.
And as technology goes more and more, it's going to be more and more important of that as well.
I'm sure. And that's that's where I told Mean, I'm like, dude, this is beautiful, because he's got the tech savviness, him and Alex, and of course you, Joshua. I don't, man. Like I said, I'd be still with a pager and a fax machine. So it was a beautiful marriage of working with you guys, and I had just started working with a C-suite where they have CPAs, lawyers, and all that good stuff too, to make sure that my books are being run properly. And because I can't get, our goal is to hit 10 million by 2024, but not without the technology that you guys bring to the table, and not without the CFO, CPA, that these cats are bringing to the table. Now with all of this combined, now I can see us, hitting that $10 million mark.
Nice. So how far are you away from it?
About 9.5 million. No, I'm just joking. No, we're about 6 million away.
So your 10 million goal, is that for annual billing? Is that what you're aiming for?
Yeah, gross 10
Nice.
million for 2024. Our ultimate goal, the number somehow ended up in my heart, is 100 million. Don't know how long, when, but the short-term goal for 2024 is 10.
Nice. Yeah, and you got it down, man. It all revolves around building a team. Obviously, I can't do everything perfectly. You can't do everything perfectly. You got to have people that are better than you, and it sounds like you're definitely striving in that direction by putting together a good team.
Yes, it was hard. I've been looking at the law of attraction and Think and Grow Rich and all these cats that talk in the past, how they say, they always use Henry Ford as an example of how Henry Ford, barely made it to 6th grade, and actually the Chicago Tribune called him ignorant, and he sued them, so they sued him back because they said they weren't lying, he was ignorant, and he ended up showing in court that he had zero ignorance, because he said, "I don't need to know a little bit of everything." He goes, "I just need to know a lot of one thing, which is what I do, which is make cars. Then I hire somebody that knows a lot of a little, like a lawyer, like an accountant, et cetera, et cetera." So, but I was so, I don't know, the Italian blood and my attitude and all that, I couldn't have somebody tell me what to do. So it was always really hard to bring somebody in. But now that I've changed a lot, and I'm okay with having other people help me and guide me per se, now I could do it.
Nice. Oh, wow. Well, that's awesome, man. That sounds like you're definitely headed in the right direction for sure.
Yeah, God willing.
Looking over my notes here. You got any other questions, Javier or Giovanni?
No, I just came to hang out today.
I didn't catch that. Say that one more time.
I just came to hang out today.
Well, we always have a good time. It's too bad Rod didn't get on here today. We would have had even better time.
But yeah, it was informative. I'm gonna check out that AP Building Connect. You know, any little bit, even if it's just an extra one a month, or you know, that you can get. I'm gonna check them out. Appreciate, and I'll definitely be seeing you guys. Hopefully in future trainings.
For
Oh
sure.
yeah, it was nice meeting you, Giovanni.
Pleasure, Javier. Same to you, and thank you guys. God bless.
For sure.
God bless.
You guys using CleanWorks, or either one of you guys using CleanWorks?
I actually just signed up for it, but it's funny because before I signed up for it, I was getting a lot more notifications, and now I'm not getting anything.
What's CleanWorks?
So Get CleanWorks is similar to what Min is doing with he gets leads and sets appointments in different areas. So as they come in, whatever state you say you're in, you'll get an email anytime they have anything in that state. And then
is that the one he's got through Facebook, or is it a different one?
Yeah, but you can sign up on his site too, so you actually get the emails directly in your inbox.
Ah, okay.
I think it's Get CleanWorks. Let me see here.
Yeah, getcleanworks.com. I'll type it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. Get Clean. Might be Get Clean Work. I'm not pulling anything.
Yep, it's one. You can only get one work.
Yeah, I'm not pulling up it right now. There we go. Yeah, it's Get Clean Work.
Okay.
But if you sign up for it, you'll actually get them in your inbox.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then the other thing with this is you can pull a specific amount of leads per month from his site too, or you can buy the exclusive leads. The exclusive leads are basically one you get, you buy it, it's done. They don't sell it to anybody else, and it's already an appointment that's set.
Right.
So that it's a pretty nice little thing. Personally, I think the interface of the website could be a little better, but it's functionable enough to get what you need done with it. And then when you get the emails, it's a breeze. You sign in, you buy that lead, but they go quick. In most cases, I think the ones that I've seen in my area, if I don't pick them up as soon as I see them, they're gone.
Wow. What area are you in, Joshua?
I'm in Western North Carolina, so near Asheville. That's going to be the biggest city close to me. There's a ton of stuff that comes in both Charlotte and Raleigh, but both of those are way too far away from me.
Right. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, I live in Atlanta. Well, an hour north of Atlanta, so not that far from North Carolina, I don't think.
Now, it depends on which way you go. You may be closer to Tennessee at that point than North Carolina, depending on the route you drive.
I was thinking Tennessee. I'm also not that good with with I don't even know what that's called. Geographics, is that what it's called?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I remember I told one of my guys, this is like 30 years ago too. I'm like, dude, on your way to Florida, can you stop by New York real quick? He was coming from Chicago, no less.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
I guess we all have our certain gifts, and that school was never mine. I never liked school.
That's all right. I think half the time you have to unlearn a good portion of what you did anyways to learn through the school of hard knocks.
Yeah. I could see that. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get going. But thank you guys again. Stay blessed, and we'll hopefully see each other again.
Sounds great. Have a good one, Giovanni.
Thank you, Joshua. Take care, Javier.
All right. You got anything more for me, Javier? All right. Well, until next week, we'll see y'all later. Have a good one, buddy.